So today is going to be an Iceberg video, and this video is an Aqua Teen Hunger Force Iceberg explained. I thought an Aqua Teen Hunger Force Iceberg would be a perfect opportunity to show what the Iceberg format can do, and also it's a great way to show off the weirdness of the show. Also, I'll try my best to explain every Iceberg entry about this show. So we'll start off with the top of the list to show the most well-known things that everyone knows about the show, and the further we go on to the bottom, we'll show the weirdest, more abstract ideas as we go on. Alright, so we'll start off with the first one. Show made for Adult Swim. So in this sentence, it's pretty self-explanatory, which is show made for Adult Swim. So back in 2001, Dave Willis and Matt Malagero, tell me if I said that right, came from another show, Space Ghost Coast to Coast, which we'll explain later on in better detail during the list. But in one of the episodes from Space Ghost Coast to Coast, it shows a quick clip of 3 fast food items, a large fry, a shake cup with a ball of meat, which would later become the pilot for Aqua Teen Hunger Force. But in this clip, the characters are almost completely different except for Meatwad, which mostly kept the same design. 3 anamorphic fast food items. So 3 anamorphic fast food items is 3 non-humanoid items with human traits, like Shake has hands or Frylock has a beard. You get it. Alright, next one. Food items. It's pretty self-explanatory again. They're food items. 5 different names for the show. So there are at least 5 different name changes for the show, that which being Aqua Unit Patrol Squad 1 in 2011, Aqua Something You Know Whatever in 2012, and Aqua TV Show in 2013. And in 2015 with the show's finale with the classic Aqua Teen Hunger Force Forever. And the reason for all these name changes are simply the creators got bored and wanted to have a new spin on the show. Started as a detective show, so when Dave Willis and Matt Malagero, or whatever his name is, had to find some way to pitch the show to Adult Swim in a way that made sense even if the show didn't, and that was Aqua Teen Hunger Force. 3 detectives that go around solving crimes and mysteries, and also how they make a living to stay in a 2-bedroom house. And then Adult Swim said, you know, screw it, let's make this happen. ATHF helps Teen Hunger, so when they had to think of a clever name to make for the show, they thought of Aqua from Carl's pool in his backyard when Shake and Frylock and Meatwad would swim in it, and they got Teen from Teen Hunger Crisis and Force from the team's dynamic duo. So there was food items that are a force of nature that are heroes of Teen Hunger, ATHF. Spin-off of Space Ghost Coast to Coast. So Space Ghost Coast to Coast is a late 90s animated talk show that was first shown on Cartoon Network that was later transitioned to Adult Swim, with it mostly known for its Hanna-Barbera cartoon style. It is the first place to show ATHF, and without this cameo of the characters on Space Ghost Coast to Coast, ATHF probably wouldn't exist. So thank you, Space Ghost. Next door neighbor Carl Bratalanalewski, that was hard the first time to say around, is a tritagonist of the show, or the third person with the most importance after the most important characters first. But Carl's fan love and wisecracking jokes say otherwise, because Carl is like us, the viewer experiencing all this craziness from the show. But unlike us, Carl rolls with it and tries to find a way to make fun of it. He's so popular, he was in a PlayStation commercial playing Call of Duty, and was in GTA 5 being heard on the radio after a song played, and hilariously was seen in 2020 at the graduation to congratulate the kids from finishing school. You're the man, Carl. 1171 Ferry, South Jersey Shore. So in the episode Shake Like Me, it shows Shake's health insurance card that finally reveals their location at where they live, and it's a made-up place based on New Jersey called 1171 Ferry, South Jersey Shore. Colon Movie for Theaters. Colon Movie for Theaters is a 2007 comedy animation movie made from William Street Productions and Warner Brothers Pictures as an Adult Swim TV show movie that grossed over $5.5 million. The Broderick is a cursed sandwich from hell that Master Shake discovers in the episode of the same name. Description: the Broderick is a thick submarine sandwich of a red baguette with small demon horns on the end. According to The Voice, the ingredients consist of bread forged in the darkness of wheat harvest from the half egg of that baked in the Beelzebub, mayonnaise made from evil eggs of a powerful dark chicken beaten in the sauce of the hands of a one-eyed madman, cheese boiled with the ransom cheat of a fake cow, 66 separate meats of an animal, which the magnets of the blood, dill in mustard, lettuce, and sun-dried tomatoes. Shake considers the best goddamn sandwich he's ever eaten, though he does complain of the lack of bacon. The Voice explains that there is no swine evil enough to be sacrificed upon a bed of evil lettuce. You get it. All the characters die at least once. So in this description it explains all the characters die at least once. So that basically kind of explains that they're all kind of immortal. Even Carl, he dies, he gets his arm chopped off, he gets his skin ripped off. Shake, he dies, he gets amputated, his head gets chopped off. Meatwad, he doesn't have a brain, his brain's a chicken nugget. And Frylock, he dies pretty much all the time too. He gets really sick in the end of the series, and he also dies and comes back at the end. So the characters are immortal. The greatest story ever told. The greatest story ever told is the series finale of ATHF. It is the 9th episode of the 11th season and the 109th episode of the whole series. Hashtag bring back ATHF. Dana Schneider audition. Dana Tiberius Schneider is an American voice actor born November 14, 1973 in Allentown, Pennsylvania. He is also the voice of Shake after making a phone call drunk late at night to Dave Willis, auditioning for the show. After that, he got hired to play Master Shake. Anatomy poster. Anatomy poster is a poster called Visible Frylock, showing the ray tubes, cranial cavity, opioids, multiple hearts, pie hole, which is the mouth, lungs, organ chamber, facialis muscular, hamstring, organ, derison, or the brain, and also concludes that Frylock's fries are actually bones. Hairspray Rabbit. Hairspray Rabbit is a rabbit created by Dr. Evil and was first seen in episode 5, but in that episode, Hairspray Rabbit escapes, leaving a giant robot-shaped hole in the wall, which is seen in several other episodes. He also breaks in the Powerpuff Mall and steals a hair growth formula. Mint flavor. So in the show, Shake spills out milkshake from his head, but little is known about what flavor he really is. But in Space Ghost Coast to Coast episode Baphomet, it is described to be a chocolate flavor, but in the show it is to be a light green, then later to be changed to a white like vanilla. But Meatwad asks what flavor Shake is, and he says none of your business flavor. Meatwad's brain is a chicken nugget, so in one of the episodes, Frylock sees a bone fall to Meatwad's body when they're swimming, and he picks it up and realizes it's a chicken bone, and then Meatwad just pulls a giant chicken out of his body. So that's when I decided to make a joke Iceberg entry where Meatwad's brain is just a chicken nugget, and that's all. Frylock's face scar. So Frylock's face scar is a scar under Frylock's face under his left eye that looks like a zigzag line. It is unknown how he got this, and it's not very much explained in the show, but yes, he does have a scar under his left eye. The Shaving. The Shaving is the 15th episode of the second season of Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Originally aired on October 26, 2003, and in the episode it's Halloween. Meatwad and Frylock are dressed as the Incredible Plum and Ghost Sailor, but Shake wants nothing to do with Halloween. As they hang out with the giant spider, and came to find that the giant spider is a serial killer that stores body parts in the attic, and the spider rips off Carl's arms and eats them.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did anyone want some juice? Guys?
Shake does blackface. So in the episode Shake Like Me, Shake gets bitten by a radioactive black man and comes to find he's turning black, and Frylock attempts to make Shake white again by having him swim in Carl's pool, drink milk while watching professional hockey, but nothing works, so Frylock gives Shake a black scene while he's playing basketball, and then he starts to turn white again. No, but I'm serious, this episode actually happened. Possible revival. So in a Deadline article, it says there's actually 3 Adult Swim movies in the works, which are Venture Bros, Metalocalypse, and Aqua Teen Hunger Force. It is unknown when these 3 films will be put out, but all that is known is that it will be shown on HBO Max, but immediately be straight to DVD and Blu-ray. So movie and then show revival for all 3 shows? Maybe. Lost ATHF episode, don't look up. So this is just a creepypasta. If you look up on YouTube, there's multiple creepypastas on this, but one in particular I suggest you should look up is the Funeral ATHF creepypasta. It's actually kind of creepy, and you might like it if you like this video.
The user named it The Funeral.
Makes fun of death and mental illness. So like I said before in the show, the characters die at least once, and also there's so much craziness in the show, like they're always making fun of the craziest things that make literally no sense, like only a schizophrenic would understand the show, but that's why it makes the show so funny. But yeah, like I was saying, I really think they are making fun of death and mental illness, not in like a very negative way, but they're making fun of it like in a way where it's just actually trying to be funny. Frylock walk animation. So in the series, when the creators first thought how they would animate the characters together with the limited mobility they have, they thought of Frylock actually walking backwards on his head using the fries as his legs instead of how he floats around in the show. I put it on here because it actually looks creepy the way he walks backwards. Meatwad kills Space Ghost with the rocket. So in Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Cola movie for theaters, Meatwad is in Dr. Evil's lair and is in a room that has a button, so he pushes it and the floor opens up to reveal a giant rocket that shoots off, and it cuts to a clip to Space Ghost on his talk show when the rocket breaks through behind the glass and it hits him and he blows up. Gem. The gem is a blue diamond on Frylock's back called the Jewel of Ida Kelly's, and appears to be the source of Frylock's powers, and also is to be believed his brain, as revealed in the episode Brain Fairy, but could have possibly been seen in episode Baphomet. Space Catas. Space Catas is a failed spin-off show from Aqua Teen Hunger Force that is centered around an ongoing feud between the moonites and Plutonians. It was cancelled because Adult Swim thought there was little that they could do with the characters. Moonites versus Plutonians. The Moonites and Plutonians are two different looking creatures that are always battling over disagreements. That which the Moonites are a pixelated two-dimensional creature that inhabit the moon, and the Plutonians are a jagged shaped creature from the planet Pluto and beyond. Ignanacht. Ignanacht is the leader of the Moonite creatures, and he and his tag-along partner go around committing crimes. Though Ignanacht isn't very smart, he tries to be. So like Ignanacht, is mischievous to the highest degree. Er's pranks aren't just prank calls and graffiti. He manipulates others into doing bad things and often steals and is the more violent and more sadistic of the two. Emery. Emery is a strange shaped creature with a high number of pointy arms with no fingers. He is green and taller and thinner than Oglethorpe. Oglethorpe, like Emery, is a very overweight, orange-colored plutonian. Multiple spikes protrude from his body that can act as arms. Intergalactic crew. So the Intergalactic crew is a fan theory right now that's on Reddit, and it says the Aqua Teens are an intergalactic crew not unlike the crew of the Starship Enterprise, whose purpose is to police, monitor, and observe alien life forms. This being the case, they're still stuck at their job and rarely actually do it. Master Shake is their leader, that's why his name is Master. This is supported by his boisterous and the fact that if you watch, they actually do listen and obey his commands. And more often than not, he actually is clearly ill-suited for the job and inspires little respect and loyalty. Firelock is obviously the doctor/scientist. Evidence for this theory or not, it shows he's a scientist. The theory simply gives him no reason for what he does, creating time machines, studying monsters, blah blah blah, you get it. And the Meatwad is the most interesting. He is the team's android, and he is sort of the hive mind of the nanomachines type robot grouped together in the Norbius ball. He is not like the Grit from Invader Zim. He is actually terribly broken manufacturing machine that often shows when we see that he gets stuck in some sort of memory loops, repeating the same phrase and action over and over again. Reality shitting robot, this one. And then Carl is a scumbag that has to unfortunately live next to these guys. Poor guy. So it's just a fan theory. I thought it was interesting, so I just stuck it on here. Dr. Weird created them. So little was explained early on who created the Aqua Teens, but in Colin movie for theaters, Dr. Weird calls Frylock his dad and said they are creations of watermelons, but later find out that's just another one of Dr. Weird's rambles. But in 2010, during the Aqua Teen live press tour, creator Dave Willis came out and said Dr. Weird created them. A kid's toy box. So in the show, when you see the characters going around having these crazy adventures and interactions with each other, with all these things happening, it's almost like a kid is just going around having fun playing with his toys. I don't know, let me know what you think about this one. I thought this theory was actually pretty interesting, and it actually makes sense explaining the events in the show, because all these random events happen with explosions and the characters die and they come back to life. So that actually might explain it. ATHF, a allegory for US politics. ATHF, an allegory for US politics, is another Reddit thread, and as this one states, it's an allegory for US politics, and it's actually quite simple. Master Shake represents the Republican Party, Frylock represents the Democratic Party, their neighbor Carl represents the third party, Meatwad represents the American people. It's all in Carl's imagination. So it's all in Carl's imagination. There's another creepypasta on YouTube. Unlike the last creepypasta we talked about earlier in the Iceberg, this one actually gets you thinking if the theory actually might be true, because it explains a lot about the events that happen in the show. Alright, so let me tell you what this creepypasta is. So let's think about it. Why is Carl such a rude, unhappy, bitter person? Well, this story is called Carl's Life. So in 1968, Carl is living in a small, shady one-bedroom apartment with his family in Jersey. Carl's family wasn't actually all ritzy. They weren't even middle class. But young Carl tried to make the best of this by using his imagination. So in 1968, on Christmas, Carl was holding up their family's Christmas dinner. Carl still went to public school despite all the low funds, but he still couldn't find anyone he could relate with. Many of the kids were often rude based on his scenario, and many times they would make fun of him because of it. Carl was completely miserable but kept it to himself because he knew his parents didn't need the extra stress. Carl would use his imagination whenever he stressed because of this. Despite Carl's family being poor, they'd go out to eat at any random fast food joint near the apartment. While waiting in line for their food to be made for Carl was fascinated by how the food was being produced. So every time they went to the fast food place, Carl would order a medium shake, large fry, and a hamburger. And oftentimes Carl would take the buns off the meat and he would squish the meat into a ball, like how you saw the fry cook do before putting it onto the grill. So you get it. It's all in Carl's imagination. And the reason I believe this is because in the episode Spirit of Christmas, it shows Carl's backstory, and his dad gives him a piece of carpet for Christmas, and Carl says, "Look, Daddy, it's a magic carpet." So go watch the full creepypasta.
Is this carpet, Daddy?
Carpet?
It's all just a trip. So theory goes that it's just a bunch of random people tripping on some type of drug. They see each other as some anthropomorphic items that are food, and yeah, they're tripping, so they don't know what they're doing half the time. So they go to like Carl's yard, and then Carl yells at them, and then Carl comes into their house, and they call the police and all that. So it's just a bunch of people tripping on some type of drug. That's why they're having these hallucinations and these crazy things happen to them. ATHF shows how pointless and unpredictable our social structure is. So I don't know what this really means exactly when I put it in here, but I guess it can mean the way we're going like right now in evolution, where all we do is just talk on phones instead of having interactions with actual people and having other things like that. It can really damage, the social structure, and it really points it out in the show how they interact with each other is kind of how we interact online. Boston leak. Well, it's kind of hard to explain this, but when they put the moonite things up for the pictures for promo for calling movie for theaters, they thought it was some bomb threat, and then they had to call people in because they had these weird looking creatures on the thing. But I'll show a clip from a news site. They explained it themselves because I'm pretty tired right now.
Obviously, what is now known to be a marketing campaign has turned out to be not only a very good one, but also exposing a generation gap. You talk to anybody close to college age, explain to them what was found, and they knew exactly what it was: a moonite character from the Aqua Teen Hunger Force, a cartoon on the Cartoon Network. When one of the last devices was found outside here at the New England Comics.
I was not alarmed at all. I thought that it was some sort of installation piece. I forgot that there was the movie coming out, and I didn't realize that it was part of the marketing campaign. I thought it was all very exciting, and I didn't feel scared at all. I wasn't intimidated. I knew it was a moonite. It looked like a cartoon character. It was kind of funny.
What the is this show about? So I can go talk all day about what the show is and what it's about, but at the end of the day, this show really doesn't have any meaning. It's just some runaway gag that just ran too long, and it was just way too good, and people loved it. But yeah, that's what it really is about. Just having fun and making funny jokes that people just like. The show gives off the impression that nothing you see matters. That's it. Go home.
I'm a white
The
supremacist.
iceberg is done. Why are you still here?
Trying to electrocute Carl.
Get out of here.
How many days are you gonna do this?
That felt good. How about you crank it up, bitch?
Christopher Lambert is the only.
In all seriousness, thank you for watching this Iceberg Explained, an Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and I'm out.